This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good evening, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for April 5, 2023. And in the news this evening, police mourn death of woman corporal. The Jamaica Police Federation is mourning the death of another member. Detective Corporal Simone Nemhard of the Sissoko Westmoreland Division died in hospital on Wednesday morning after a period of illness. In a message to its members, the Police Federation expressed sadness at Nemhard's passing. "It is a very sad time for us as we mourn and share condolences with the management and staff of the Westmoreland Division," the Federation said. Nemhard's passing comes just 4 days after the death of Inspector Desmond Roach, a former General Secretary of the Police Federation, who was assigned to the Video Identification Unit. The news understands that Roach fell ill while at home in St. Catherine and was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Men killed by police in Manchester identified. The 2 men who were fatally shot by police in Kingsland, Manchester yesterday have been identified as 22-year-old Dwayne Baker of Perth Road and Cameron Witter of Knockpatrick, both in Manchester. The men were suspected of stealing goats in neighboring St. Elizabeth. They were shot dead after allegedly firing at the police during a chase. The men had reportedly refused the order to stop at a checkpoint in Spurtree, Manchester, sometime after 3 p.m. The police say a 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 6 cartridges was seized. Indicom and the Inspectorate of Professional Standards and Oversight Bureau are investigating. St. Mary man dies after falling from Aki tree. A man who is believed to be mentally challenged died after falling from an Aki tree in St. Mary on Tuesday. According to residents, 57-year-old Errol Williams from Frontier in the parish lost his balance while picking fruit from a tree located in a remote area of his community. The news understands that his body was discovered by a passerby who raised an alarm. The Port Maria police were called and Williams was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The police say they do not suspect foul play. Williams is well known for picking ackee in the community. Elderly man succumbs to injuries sustained in St. Anne crash. An elderly man died from injuries he sustained in a motor vehicle crash on the Miami Bay Main Road in St. Anne on Tuesday afternoon. The deceased has been identified as a 64-year-old Desmond Rose of Middle Street, Prairie, St. Anne. Reports from the St. Anne's Bay Police are that about 3:30 p.m., Rose was a passenger in a gray Toyota Probox motorcar that was traveling towards Ocho Rios. The driver reportedly made a U-turn into the path of a white BMW motorcar that was traveling in the same direction. Rose sustained injuries and was taken to hospital where he died. Construction workers praised by judge after defending woman being assaulted. 4 construction workers who allegedly assaulted another man were praised by a senior parish judge after it was revealed that they were defending a breast cancer patient who was being physically assaulted. The construction workers O'Neill Williams, Quan Richards, Mark Thompson, and Anthony Barnes were charged with the unlawful wounding of Toro Bailey. Bailey was charged with assault occasioning actual bodily harm after he allegedly pushed the woman, causing her to bleed. The woman was also charged with unlawful wounding after she allegedly used a bamboo to hit Bailey on his head. The court was told that on February 8 in the corporate area, the woman was standing at Bailey's stall when she leaned on a bamboo, causing it to break. This sparked an argument between the two, resulting in the woman falling after Bailey pushed her. The woman allegedly used the bamboo to hit Bailey. He reportedly retaliated by using the bamboo to hit her on her head. After seeing the woman struggling against Bailey, the construction workers who were doing roadworks intervened. Bailey pleaded guilty to assaulting the woman. However, the other defendants pleaded not guilty to their charges. "That is what you must do when you see a woman in distress. You must help." Presiding judge at the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court, Lorian Cole Montague, said to the construction workers, "Thank you, Your Honor," the men responded. At the same time, the woman told the judge that she wasn't aware that the shop was being used since it looked abandoned. But defending his action, Bailey said, "Them sit down and plan to gang me." "How you know them sit down and plan to gang you?" the judge asked, but Bailey did not answer. "Mr. Bailey knows that I just did surgery," the woman interjected. "You push her knowing that she just did surgery? That's cold. Some people would say that's wicked," Cole Montague said. Turning to the woman, Cole Montague said, "Madam, do you want to be compensated?" "No, ma'am. Him have 2 children going to college," she answered, adding that he just needs to take an anger management class. Bailey later indicated that he wished to not go further with his case against the construction workers and the woman. Therefore, the court offered no evidence against them. It was also revealed that Bailey had a previous conviction of assault and the possession of ganja in 2019, in which he served 3 months in prison. "That was just the other day and your head hurts already?" Cole Montague asked. Jamaican man who infected woman with HIV jailed for 3 years in the UK. A Jamaican-born man who was deported for being in the UK illegally following an investigation into him infecting a woman with HIV has been jailed 14 years after the offense. Jermaine Scott, 39, was yesterday sentenced to 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to grievous bodily harm at the Chester Crown Court. Scott was arrested in February 2011 on suspicion of recklessly infecting a woman in 2009, but was later released due to a lack of evidence. He was deported to Jamaica 9 months later, but extradited to the UK last year after new evidence came to light. Cheshire Police said Scott was diagnosed with HIV in 2005 and had been prescribed medication to minimize the risk of transmission to others. The police said Scott was not regularly taking the tablets when he had unprotected sex with a woman and failed to tell her he had HIV. The woman later tested positive for HIV and Scott fled. Man who stabbed a female employee at the Princess Margaret Hospital freed of charges. Malik Lynch, the man who stabbed a female employee at the Princess Margaret Hospital in St. Thomas last year, has been freed of the charges. The 19-year-old, who is said to be of unsound mind, was freed yesterday after the complainant indicated that she did not wish to proceed with the matter. During his previous appearance in the St. Thomas Parish Court 3 weeks ago, the matter was adjourned for the parties to engage in settlement discussion. Reports are that in December 2022, Mr. Lynch visited the hospital for treatment when he got into an argument with the complainant. He reportedly stabbed her several times. Lynch was subsequently shot in his legs by a police constable when he allegedly tried to stab one of the cops who was trying to arrest him. He was treated at the Princess Margaret Hospital before he was later transferred to the Kingston Public Hospital in downtown Kingston, where he was admitted. Gordon calls for social intervention program for fishers affected by Rio Cobre fish kill. Vice Chair of the St. Catherine Parish Development Committee, Kestonard Gordon, has called for a social intervention program for fishers affected by last year's fish kill in the Rio Cobre. A release of effluent into the river by Bauxite Alumina Company Windalco between July and August resulted in the decimation of the fish stock. The National Environment and Planning Agency has announced that the company is to restock the river starting next month. Mr. Gordon says it will take months before fishers who depend on the Rio Cobre for their livelihood will be able to see any benefits from the restocking. He says there needs to be intervention to provide financial support to the fishers. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.